And a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. Here on the campus of Collinsville High School, I am Todd Duke, and we are ready for some girls volleyball action. And you can tell the girls are excited. You can hear the yells down there coming from the opposition this afternoon, which is Alton Marquette. They'll be taking on your Collinsville Lady Kahawks in the this is the season opener for the Alton Marquette Lady Explorers, as Collinsville comes in with the JV side 0-1 after Collinsville opened the season last night at East St. Louis. And the JV team lost. The varsity team won, however. So one of them is 0-1, and the other one, which we'll see here in a little bit, is 1-0. And as I mentioned, Alton Marquette, this is their season opener. So we are ready for a couple of back-to-back contests here between Collinsville and Alton Marquette. And, of course, we'll finish this one up, and then we'll take you into the varsity game with the Cullip Jennings Flores pregame show and everything. Plus, we will have a guest commentator on for the varsity game as well, and we'll fill you in on that as we get to that game. Collinsville starters. I know the Collinsville starters because the coach was kind enough to track me down and give them to me, but for the most part, we try to stay away from everybody and keep our social distancing shoes in order. So for Collinsville, Andrea Dedman, she's the libero. She's a sophomore. Grace Combs is a setter. She wears number 4. She's a freshman. Ava Pierce is an outside hitter. She is a junior. Lily Georgina is a setter and a right side hitter, depending on where she's needed. She's a sophomore. Lauren Lee wears number 12, a junior. And a middle hitter, Layla Pelly, is also a middle hitter. She's a freshman. And an outside hitter, Megan Summer, wearing number 28. She is a freshman. Collinsville, they are the team that is on your left on the new huddle camera that we're using. I do not need a camera person. Never have needed one for volleyball because it's stationary. But a much better view right down the middle than it is up here off in the corner. We're underway, and Collinsville takes the first serve, and they move it up front to Georgina. Over the net we go. Alton Marquette, they are on the other side, and they are wearing blue. Black shorts, numbers are in white. And the libero is the one wearing black shorts with the white top with Marquette written across the front. Collinsville's libero, that is Andrea Dedman. She's the one out there wearing the purple uniform. Collinsville leads 1-0. Alton Marquette gets it over on their third and final try. And now Collinsville must get it over as well. A little bit of miscommunication there. And finally, Dedman gets it over. And now all the way in the back, sent over by Alton Marquette and Eleanor Brass. Now Collinsville gets it back over. Kahawks lead 1-0. Over here on the near side, popped up straight in the air. A setup coming up here from Combs to Pelly. And then a hit back over by Marquette into the far side corner. Marquette sends it up for a set. They didn't get a good set on that one, so they just got it over there on that third try. And then a little dump down. That was a nice read by Livy Kratchmer, as she saw that one was going to head towards her side of the net and took advantage of it. Collinsville, on the other hand, getting ready to set up for a play, and that makes it 1-1. Back to serve for Marquette is Shea O'Leary. We have a couple of O'Learys. Shea, a sophomore. Ryan, also a sophomore. Collinsville gets it over to the libero, and up we go, and back over to the near side. Sent across and out of bounds. That's tipped by Collinsville, so the point belongs to Alton Marquette. Welcome, everybody. You have to forgive me if I'm a little rusty on the volleyball. It's been a while, over 500 days since we did a volleyball game last time. That was, of course, the 2019 season. Net ball, and that one fools everybody. Nice try on the dive by Megan Summer, but she couldn't quite get there. And it's 3-1 in favor of Alton Marquette. As far as I can tell, these schools don't normally play each other. The only hint I found was on the varsity side, and that's on my varsity notes. I think it was way back in 2007. This one sent over, picked up in the backcourt, and on the sideline, nice save by Summer, and a nice turn of events there as Georgina gets it over. Alton Marquette sends one screaming, and that one is out of bounds, and a nice job by Andrea Dedman to lay off of it. And Collinsville picks up a point. It's 3-2 in favor of Alton Marquette. So I got to get on my volleyball shoes. I just got used to basketball, and that season ended real quick, and now I've transitioned over to soccer for the last 3 live streams, and now here we are at volleyball season. Katie Martin, sophomore for Collinsville, serves it into the middle, and a dig over there by O'Leary. Collinsville, tries to tip it up and off of the fingertip, and Lily Georgina is shaking that hand that hit her fingers the wrong way. And it's 4-2 in favor of Alton Marquette, set number 1. First team to win 2 sets wins the match. So it could go 2 sets, could go 3. That's why we're all here. We're going to find that out. Nice send over by Georgina, and Collinsville picks up the other point. And back to within 1 are the Kahawks, 4-3. Back to serve, Lily Georgina. Into the game, and inserted up front is Kareth Pritchett. And a send over. That's a low ball that almost fooled the libero back there, O'Leary. And then one sent. O'Leary picks that one up as well. Now Alton trying to set it up. They just tap it across, and Georgina gets the second hit, sends it over onto the far side. Slammed over there by Ava Pierce. And now Alton Marquette sends it back over. Back to the middle. Georgina setting it up backwards for Pritchett. Pritchett gets it over. Alton Marquette, they get their turn at it over here on the side. A little dump over by Marshall, and Collinsville keeps it alive. They send it over. The libero O'Leary picks it up over on the far side for Alton Marquette. And a little touch shot by Tori Fox keeps Collinsville on their feet, and then they found that little dead spot right in there. 2 girls were diving at the same time. And Collinsville has tied it up 4-4. Another serve coming up for Georgina. High, deep, picked up by O'Leary in the back. Shoved up front and sent over by Bohannon. And now Collinsville trying to set it up, and the setup didn't work, so just punching it over was Pierce. And then a shot, that's a nice try, and then that one ends up going out of bounds off of the red and white pole sticking up at the ends of the net. And the little dump in that space over there pays off for Alton Marquette, and they retake the lead. Tori Fox back to serve it up for the Explorers. Right in the middle, and it's sent out of bounds on a diving stop by Megan Summer, but went the wrong direction off of her hands. 6-4, Explorers back up by 2. Explorers have led by as many as 3 when it was 4-1. Collinsville needs to get it over, and they had too many hits. And another 3-point lead for Alton Marquette. Tori Fox, Jr. for the Explorers, back to serve. Over here to the near side. That one's popped up way out of bounds, and a nice save will keep it in, but you got to get it over now, and Collinsville does on a Summer hit. Now Summer gets the return, and back over here to the side, and sent over by Pritchett. Alton Marquette and Fox sends it over, and that one tips off of the net. Collinsville picks up a point and gets some of that back, and the Kahawks have climbed back to within 2. 7-5. Service coming up from Ava Pierce. One of 3 juniors on the JV team. Sure she'll see some action on the varsity side as well. Nice pickup back in the back by Katie Martin. And now over to the side and sent over by Summer. And then dumped back in, and a nice job on the read by Lauren Lee. She read that one all the way. It was coming right at her. Next serve by Pierce in the back, and it stays in bounds. Nicely done. Collinsville has quickly tied it up after trailing by 3, 7-7. Pierce ready for another. Pops this one up, picked up by O'Leary, and then moved back into the middle and sent over by Bohannon. Now Collinsville's turn. Here is Summer all the way into the back corner where it's picked up by Taylor. Moved up back behind Taylor, and then it's inbounds. That was close. Collinsville has a lead. Pierce continues her hot serving, and that one's going to go too far. And we are tied at 8. Nice run there for a little while by Ava Pierce. And now Hannah Marshall, outside hitter, sophomore for the Explorers. Back to serve, checking into the game is Allison Geiger. She takes her place over on the near side in front of the net. Picked up by Summer. Into the back, pop back up. Summer's going to have to get it over. She does. And now Alton Marquette will go to work. Bohannon leaves it over onto the end, and a nice dig there by Collinsville to keep that one alive. And then just punching it over was Pierce. And now Marquette sends it back and off of the hands or the wrists of Summer and out of bounds. 9-8. Explorers back to their 1-point lead. Another serve coming up from Hannah Marshall. Marshall sends it all the way in the back. Pierce sends it up front, set up in the middle, but not to the liking of Lauren Lee, and she had that little hesitation. She was waiting for a good set that she could spike, but didn't get that ball in the right place she wanted to, and then mishit it out of bounds. So Alton Marquette picks up the point, 10-8. Hannah Marshall back to serve it up once again. In the middle, Collinsville trying to set up a spike, and haven't really been able to set up any good spikes so far in this game. Alton Marquette's got a few of them. And now Collinsville Summer will just have to tap it over again. And the Explorers set it back up. O'Leary sends it across, and trying to set it up is Georgina over to Summer, and Summer hits it into the net. Back to the 3-point lead for Alton Marquette. We're in set number 1. And Marshall sends over a knuckleballer. Collinsville picks it up, though, and sent over by Lee. Now Alton Marquette gets their crack at it. It's over the net, and a little miscommunication there between Pritchett and Pierce, and the ball falls in, and now Alton Marquette has their biggest lead of this game. It's a 4-point lead. Timeout on the court, so we'll step aside as well, and we're back in just a moment here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Ogle Auctions in Collinsville, the newest in online auctioning. Go to ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's HIBid.com to check out what's up for bid in the next auction. Ogle Auctions deals with everyday items like board games, t-shirts, and more, to collectibles, whether that is a vehicle, vinyl records, or vintage toys. Or how about a trolley car? And Ogle Auctions is always on the lookout for more items. Check out their next online auction at ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's ogleauctionshibid.com. Or call Kim Ogle today at 618-980-4530.
Back at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, I'm Todd Duke. Glad that you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. It's been a nasty day here in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Rain off and on started this morning, and got another wave right around the lunch hour, and then another one when we left work at about 2:30 this afternoon. And it has been nasty and rainy and a little chilly, I might add, for the last few days. We're ready for some sun. 12-8 in favor of Alton Marquette. And there's a little tip over. Now Collinsville trying to set it up over on the far side. Summer just taps it over. And now Alton Marquette trying to set it up off of a hand up top. So Collinsville has to keep it alive. Back over to Summer, and she tips it right into the candy cane on the far side of the net. 13-8. 5-point lead for Alton. Their biggest lead of this game. Marshall on a roll here on the service department. Picked up by Summer. Moved up. Summer's going to get it right back, and she'll just tap it over. And then Alton Marquette taps it back over as well. Now a setup for Pritchett, and she finally breaks the string. And Collinsville picks up a point, 13-9. Alton Marquette leads in this first set. And back to serve for Collinsville is Lauren Lee, the junior. Lady Kahok. Lee's ready. Sends it back to the libero, O'Leary, excuse me. Back over to this side. Nice hit off of the hand of Allison Geiger, and then Collinsville can't get it over the net. They push it into the net, and another error by Collinsville has cost them a point, and back to a 5-point lead for Alton Marquette as Andrea Dedman, the libero, checks back into the game for the Kahawks. And the opposing libero, Ryan O'Leary, ready to serve for Alton Marquette. Oh, nice try. That just had too much spin on it once it left the hand of Dedman, and it stayed low. And once that ball goes low, man, it's hard to get it elevated again. 15-9. Alton Marquette with the lead, and another serve coming up from Ryan O'Leary. Into the backcourt it goes, up to the front line, and Collinsville just needs to get it over, and a miss hit by Summer. She had Lily Georgina standing right in front of her, getting ready to do the backwards double fist send over the net routine, but Summer came in and tried to punch it over and just couldn't. Another serve by O'Leary. Going to test Summer again. She gets it up front, and now another misleave, but somehow or another, no one was on the back line, and Layla Pelly made him pay. And Collinsville picks up a point and climbs back to within 6. Grace Combs checks back into the game. She'll take the place of Pritchett, and Combs will come back to serve. 16-10. Alton Marquette with the lead. Serve in the back, picked up by Copeland. And now O'Leary ready to send it over. Does so. Nice dig in the back by Pierce. Collinsville gets it over. Alton Marquette, a little one-hander like she had eyes on the side of her head. Olivia Bird, with her back almost to the ball, swipes at it with her right hand and sends it over to the sideline where there was no one. And Alton Marquette now out to a 7-point lead, their biggest lead of this game. Here is Olivia Bird. Just made that play. She'll serve it up. First one to 25 wins. You have to win by 2. In the back it goes, and it's picked up by Pierce, and over onto the far side, and to get that one over before it hit the candy cane. Alton Marquette back with it, and a nice hit down the line by Allison Geiger, and it's 18-10 in favor of the Explorers. All the way back down we go to Olivia Bird. Bird ready for another serve. High in the middle, picked up by Dedman. Set up front, and a nice job by Alton Marquette to read that one and send it back over, but Collinsville picks up the point, 18-11. And back to serve for the Kahawks is Megan Summer, the freshman outside hitter. Sends it over and low, poked over to the side. Now they got to get it over, does Marquette, and it's a backwards hit, and that kind of found no man's land there, right in the middle. Nice diving try by Summer, but she couldn't get there in time. 19-11. As that score creeps closer to 20, you get a little bit worried, especially when you're trailing by 8. Speaking of 8, that is the number on Allison Geiger's jersey, and she serves into the middle, picked up by Dedman, moved over by Combs, and unable to complete the send-over was Pelly. And it's 22-11. Timeout on the floor, and we'll take a timeout as well. We are back in a little under a minute here on the Kahok Sports Network.
This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Back here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, I'm Todd Duke, and we're glad that you're with us here on a Wednesday. Nice pickup. That one made it over off of the dig, and then a little battle up front by Pelly and Kratchmer was one by Livy Kratchmer. It was almost like a jump ball in basketball. 21-11, so Alton Marquette 4 points away from picking up this first set victory, and now they're a little closer. Hesitation will cost you in the world of sports. Ava Pierce hesitated. No one was coming to her rescue, and that ball found that empty spot, and it's 22-11. Brass sends it over, picked up by Dedman, but man, tough luck there for the Kahawks right now. She got there in plenty of time. Ball just hit off the wrist and went straight to her right. 23-11 in favor of Alton Marquette. Geiger back to serve for the Explorers. That one's way out of bounds. I think that was out of bounds on both the side and the back line. Another one of those missed hits that happens sometimes. 23-12. Collinsville's got a long way to climb back if they want to get back into this one. Katie Martin checks into the game and will immediately go back to serve. Martin sends it over into the back line. Popped up and now sent over and into the back line of Collinsville, and this back right corner was left wide open. And Tori Fox saw that, and that's exactly where she put it. So game point coming up here for Alton Marquette. Kratchmer serves into the back, and that one's in. First set goes to Alton. 25-12, and Collinsville will try to rebound to send this one into a third set. We'll find out in just a little bit as we're back in just a moment on the Kahok Sports Network.
Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahok alums. Located at 302 East Main Street, Code 3 Barbecue Supply is your home for one-of-a-kind everything barbecue headquarters, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning rubs and sauces and donates 25 cents a unit sold to first responder and military organizations to aid the fallen and assist with suicide prevention and PTSD awareness. Stop on by. See the guys at Code 3 Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of the Memphis in May first place world champion Patriot sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at code3spices.com. Everyone has those projects around the house that you just don't want to do. AW Outdoor Solutions can take care of that for you. Former Collinsville High School graduate Adam Welly owns AW Outdoor Solutions, and he and his crew can handle all of the dirty work around your home or business, whether that's tree trimming and maintenance, brush removal, power washing, gutter cleaning, and leaf raking and removal. AW Outdoor Solutions can handle that and much more. AW Outdoor Solutions is fully insured and offers free estimates on all of their work. AW Outdoor Solutions. Call Adam Welly at 314-252-8010 or on Facebook at AW Outdoor Solutions.
Just because you can cut your own hair doesn't mean you should. The Shop, a great place in Collinsville for men and boys haircuts, is where you should take your hair. The Shop is owned and operated by Collinsville High School graduates Danny Kress and Jody Neiman and is located at 103 South Seminary Street in Uptown Collinsville. The Shop isn't just another place to get a haircut, as Danny and Jody take great joy in getting to know their clients and look forward to turning those clients into friends. When you sit in a stylish chair at the Shop, Jody and Danny pride themselves on getting to know you well enough to say, "The usual?" So, men and boys, if you're tired of the same old cookie-cutter approach to haircuts, check out Danny and Jody at the Shop. You may just walk out with not only a fantastic cut, but you may also walk out with a friend. Or two. The Shop in Collinsville, 618-772-7175. No appointment necessary. The Shop, 103 South Seminary in Uptown Collinsville. Once again, welcome back to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, set number 2 about to get underway. Set number 1 goes to Alton Marquette, 25-12. And we do not switch ends of the court any longer during the pandemic. That way everybody sits in the same chairs. And normally, in between matches, everybody would pick up their stuff and move down to the other side, and then we would switch sides. But that is not happening in the world of COVID-19, amongst other things. But, hey, you know what? We're playing. I'm glad to see that, and I'm glad I'm busy again. Between February 6th, the first basketball game, and last March 10th, which was the last basketball game, that was a long way. That was almost a year without doing any sports except for the few Collinsville Middle School softball and baseball games I did in August and September. So it's nice to be back, and I'm telling you what, we're back with a flurry. We are cram-packed. Everybody's got these jam-packed schedules, have to fit everything in a 6-week period, and we are very busy. Here we are, ready for set number 2. Serving it up is Grace Combs for Collinsville, and she sends it out of bounds. And right off the bat, Collinsville gives away a point. 1-0 in favor of Alton Marquette. And now Olivia Bird will start things off for the Explorers. And Alton Marquette's first serve of set number 2. And into the net. So each team has a unforced error to start things off. And it's 1-1. Megan Summer serves it up for Collinsville. Picked up in the backcourt and over onto the near side. Popped off the net. Collinsville has to stay alive, and sending it over on a backward shot was Georgina. And now over 2, and that's out of bounds. Poked out of bounds by McKenna Youngblood. And Collinsville has a lead, 2-1. They only had a 1-point lead for a very brief moment in that first set. So Megan Summer back to serve it up once again. Barely makes it over the net, and a nice dig by Alton Marquette, because that was for sure tough. And then Collinsville sends it over. We have a big hit finally by Ava Pierce, but she sends it out of bounds. But that's nice to see that Collinsville is trying to figure out how to get that proper set up on the front of the net for one of those kill shots. And it's 2-2. Checking into the game is Shea O'Leary for Alton Marquette. She serves, and it's picked up by the libero for Collinsville. Dedman sent over to the side, and Pierce sends it up to O'Leary, the libero O'Leary. That would be Shea, and we have a net violation, I believe. I think that was the first one that we've had today. We didn't have one of those called in that first set. So point goes to the Explorers. Alton Marquette's up 3-2. Shea O'Leary back to serve it up again. The libero, one wearing the white shirt, that's Ryan O'Leary. And that one is out of bounds, says the referee. 3-3. Collinsville trying to win this set to force a third and final set. Dedman checks out of the game. In comes Lauren Lee, and also checking back in is Katie Martin. She'll come in and serve it up here in this 3-3 tie. To the far side and picked up off the ground, and Alton Marquette sends it back over, but way out of bounds. Big hit over there by Hannah Marshall. And Collinsville back out to the 1-point lead, 4-3. So another serve coming up for Katie Martin. Martin sends it over to the other side, but not high enough, and it goes into the net, and we are tied at 4. Unforced errors have accounted for a few points in this game. Now Ryan O'Leary back to serve it up for Alton Marquette. She does, and finds a perfect spot. Summer couldn't get there in time. She was the closest one that could converge. Katie Martin tried coming in from the near side corner, but couldn't make it there either, and it's 5-4 in favor of Alton Marquette, and another serve coming up from young Miss O'Leary. Into the backhand, Summer that was that one go right to her. Set up over on the side for Pierce, and again, too hard on the kill shot. And Pierce will figure that out sooner or later. 6-4. Explorers with a 2-point lead. O'Leary sends it over again. That one's low, and Summer digs it out. Whoa! And a nice job on the quick reaction over there by Georgina. And Collinsville keeps that one alive. Now they want to set it up for Pierce. Over on the far side, no good on the setup. So that one is knocked out of bounds after the return was kind of half hit by Alton Marquette. And Collinsville gets back to within one. It's 6-5. Out goes Combs. In comes Pritchett for the Kahawks. Back to serve, Lily Georgina. She throws it into the net. So the unforced errors continue here. And after the momentum of that point that Collinsville just got, it's kind of flattened out by another unforced error. 7-5, Alton Marquette. Summer pops it up. And a setup coming for Pierce over on the far side. And said she fingertips it over. And then Alton Marquette saves it. It's picked up in the backcourt. Brought along the front line. And it's knocked over by Lee. And Collinsville picks up a point on a palm ball, they're going to say, by Alton Marquette. So the Kahawks back to within one once again. Ava Pierce back to serve. In the back and knocked even farther back and saved by O'Leary, and somehow or another, Bird gets the ball over for Alton Marquette. Bird now sets it up in the middle and a little poke over. Collinsville picks that one up, no problem at all. Here is Summer. She has to get it over. She does so. Alton Marquette with the volley on their side now and sent over into the back corner. Popped straight up and a setup over the net, never mind, on the setup. And then sent over by Marshall for Alton Marquette. Another setup coming for Collinsville, maybe. Summer has to send it over. That one's going to go, whistle on the play. And that one does indeed go out of bounds. I thought that it stayed in for a moment, and I thought maybe the Alton Marquette Explorer hit the ball while inbounds, but at any rate, 8-6 in favor of the Explorers, and here is Marshall with another serve. And another chance to set it up for Collinsville, and slapping it over there was Pritchett. She didn't have much of a choice. And then back into the corner it goes, and unable to get there was Ava Pierce. And another point for Alton Marquette. They extend that lead to 3, 9-6. Marshall back to serve up another one. Sophomore outside hitter for the Explorers. Sends it up into the middle, and it's picked up. Collinsville sets it up. Summer, into the net. Megan Summer and Ava Pierce have been having a little bit of a hard time over there on that far side post. Marshall, her team has a 4-point lead, and she serves the next one. Stays over there. Summer can't get it back into the middle of the court. No one over there to bail her out. And Marshall's enjoying a nice run for Alton Marquette. And she's ready to serve up another one, this time with a 5-point lead. This time Summer has a more perfect ball for her to play. And it's sent over by Lee. Marquette pokes it back over. Collinsville keeps it alive. And at the front of the net, it is sent over. Picked up by O'Leary in the back. And now over to this side and then hit out of bounds by Geiger. She was in the right spot to send it down the line, but just mishit it. Ends up going off to her left and out of bounds. Collinsville gets a much-needed point. 11-7 in favor of Alton Marquette. Out goes Katie Martin, and in comes Layla Pelly. Back to serve it up for Collinsville, Lauren Lee. Lee sends it up the near sideline. O'Leary brings it up front, and Collinsville takes the hit, and we have a net violation against Alton Marquette. Saw that net bounce. Wasn't sure who it was going to be called on, but whatever. 12-7 is the whatever that comes of it. 5-point lead. Here is Peyton Patterson. She serves for the Explorers all the way in the back. Dedman has to change her stance to keep it alive, and then it's sent over by Pelly. And now Alton Marquette trying to send it over. They do on the last possible shot. Here is Ava Pierce over to Summer. She has to get it over and does so. And now a setup here for Alton Marquette. What a nice block up front by Pelly. Keep that one alive off of the smoking shot there of Kratchmer. Collinsville sends it back over. Just a touch by Geiger, and that secures another point for Alton Marquette. 13-7. Explorers lead. Patterson, the sophomore, back to serve up another. Into the net. And it's funny because ducking the whole way was Georgina. It's kind of like being behind home plate at a baseball game and foul ball goes straight back to the fence. It's not going to hit you because the fence is there, but boy, you sure flinch like it's going to. Back to serve it up for Collinsville, Grace Combs. Collinsville needing some points. Down 13-8, that's not going to help. That one hit Summer as she was going to take her spot over on that far side post. And it's 14-8. Explorers lead by 6. Olivia Bird back to serve. High, deep, Summer sends it up front. Set up for Pelly. Pelly gets blocked out by Kratchmer, so Kratchmer can send over the shots as well as put them right back. Timeout on the floor, 15-8 in favor of Alton Marquette, and we are back in just a moment on the Kahok Sports Network.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Back here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. Todd Duke with you as Alton Marquette leads, and they send it back, and another save by Pierce, but there's not going to be way much of a chance for Andrea Dedman to hit that over on the final shot when she was all the way past that back end line. 16-8. Alton Marquette has doubled up Collinsville. Here's a chance for Summer. She sends it kind of low over to Pelly. She lets it, and she sends it out of bounds. Alton Marquette let it go. 17-8. Kahawks are in jeopardy of getting swept out of here in 2 straight sets to the JV Explorers from Alton Marquette. Up front, Combs sends it over. And Alton Marquette trying to set it up. Another block by Pelly. And a dig in the back by Dedman, but that is off of the wrist of Grace Combs and in the opposite direction from where it needed to be. And now the Explorers have a 10-point lead. Olivia Bird, sophomore setter for Alton Marquette. Back to serve up yet another. Summer pops it up, and it's saved, and now it's got to go over, and Ava Pierce couldn't get it there. 19-8. Craig Hall checks into the game for the first time for the Lady Kahawks. Got to see her play a little basketball during the Lady Kahawks basketball season. Bird sends another one over, and why not test out the new girl as soon as she gets in there, right? Dedman over on the side for Pierce. Pierce sends it over. Or excuse me, that was not Pierce, that was Georgina. And then another touch try, and Collinsville picks this one up. They send it into the front of the net. Pelly gets it over. And now Alton Marquette once again. Here's Bird over onto the side and blocked out. On the shot attempt there by Geiger, and I believe that was Lily Georgina who blocked that one over. So 19-9. Collinsville gets it back to within 10. And here is Megan Summer with a serve, and into the net it goes. We've seen that about 3 times in this game, and a couple of serves go out of bounds as well. Let the other teams make the mistakes. Give them the ball. 20-9. Here is Allison Geiger for Alton Marquette. She sends it over to Summer here on the near side. And it's sent over off of a couple of ricochets by Alton Marquette. And then Dedman in the back picks it up. Combs trying to set it up, but Georgina didn't have a chance there as that one went into that near side post where the net judge resides. Olivia Varner checks into the game for the first time for Collinsville. 21-9. Alton Marquette in the lead. Allison Geiger back to serve. Popped it straight up into the back, and Dedman sends it up, and here is Craig Hall who hits it into the net. Geiger sends another one over. Dedman again picks it up, and again Combs sets it up, and almost found that dead spot. Oh, Andrea Dedman diving try to save that one, and she had to because that was real close to, I don't know if it would have hit the line or not, but it was close to being out of bounds, but you can't take the chance. 23-9. Here is Dedman, sets it up. Combs over for Hall. Hall gets partially blocked, and a call against Hall for a net violation will put Alton Marquette into a game point situation. They win this, and the first sets are over with. Here is Geiger in the back, picked up by Varner, and now popped straight up by Georgina, and Collinsville gets it over. Set up by Bird on the other side. Bird and a little hook up there. Hall sends it back over, and nicely done. Combs gets it over. Bird back to this side for Marshall. Blocked out by Pelly once again. One hand send over by Marshall. And the Collinsville returns the favor. And then the ball falls into the net. Collinsville couldn't do it. Nothing Combs could do about it. And the Kahawks drop the second set 25-9 and lose both sets and fall to the Alton Marquette Explorers. That's going to do it for our JV coverage. We'll be gone for a little while. Not sure how much time they're going to put in between the games, but the next game isn't supposed to start until 6 p.m., so we might be gone for just a little while, but we will sure be back with the varsity game. So the best thing I can tell you to do is subscribe to the Kahok Sports Network YouTube channel, and when you do, it doesn't cost you anything, so don't let the word subscribe scare you away. But it lets you know when I go live, and as soon as I hit the live stream button, you'll get a notification on your phone that says I'm live, and then all you have to do is hit the play button, and you're already hooked up. That easy. So Collinsville drops 2 sets to Alton Marquette on the JV side of things. 25-12 the first set, 25-9 on the second set, and we will take a break for just a little while. Back with varsity action before you know it here on the Kahok Sports Network.